Good day everyone, this is Maria Ellen P. Onyot of BSHM3A and welcome to another video report presentation of the Philippine Tourism Law. So for this video, we will talk about the Chapter 17 which entitled us or focuses on the special topics. So this chapter highlights various laws that affect the tourism industry, from protecting senior citizens and cultural heritage to promoting safety, ethical practices, and environmental sustainability. So these legal topics ensure that tourism in the Philippines remains safe, inclusive, and responsible. So before we will dig deeper to our topic, we will discuss first the learning objectives. So after this lesson, students are expected to first discuss the various special laws affecting the tourism industry. Second is to identify situations and problems where these special laws may be applied as a solution. Third is identify some tourism establishments that implement these special laws. So what are we waiting for? Let's now get started and explore each of these important legal areas and their impact on our tourism and hospitality industry. So for our first law, which is the Senior Citizens Law, or RA 9257. So the Expanded Senior Citizens Act of 2003 grants numerous benefits to Filipinos aged 60 and above. These benefits include 20% discounts on essential goods and services such as hotels, transportation, dining, and medical needs. In addition, purchases by senior citizens are exempt from value-added tax, further lowering their expenses. So for businesses in the tourism sector, hotels, transport companies, restaurants, and leisure establishments, they are required by law to extend these benefits. Failure to comply can lead to complaints, penalties, and possible license suspension. Moreover, establishments must train staff to provide courteous and efficient service, including the use of priority lanes and senior-friendly facilities, enhancing the overall travel experience for the elderly. For our second law, which is the Anti-Terrorism Law, or RA 11479. So this law aims to safeguard national security by criminalizing acts that intend to sow fear, destabilize society, or harm lives and properties. Provisions include extended surveillance powers, freezing of assets, and protection of critical infrastructures, especially in airports, hotels, tourist attractions, and transportation terminals. Security has become a key aspect of the tourism industry. Businesses must implement comprehensive safety protocols, invest in surveillance systems, conduct regular emergency drills, and train staff into threat response. These measures not only ensure compliance but also build trust among domestic and international tourists. And now for our third law, which is the Consumer Act of the Philippines of RA 7394. So RA 7394 enshrines the rights of consumers, including the right to safety, information, choice, and redress. It aims to prevent deceptive advertising, false promises, and overpricing. So in tourism, this means travel agencies, tour operators, and online booking platform must offer accurate information about their services, be it hotel descriptions, package inclusions, or travel itineraries. Misleading claims or failure to deliver promised services can result in consumer complaints, negative publicity, or legal repercussions. So for our fourth law, which is the Cultural Minorities and Heritage Protection. So these are the various laws protect cultural heritage and the rights of indigenous peoples. So first is the R8371. This is the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act, in which it recognizes ancestral domains, traditions, and self-governance rights. We also have the RA 9072, Caves Protection Act. This regulates ecotourism and exploration of cave systems. We also do have the RA 7586. These are the National Integrated Protected Area System, in which it declares certain sites as protected ecotourism areas. We also have the RA 9147 or the Wildlife Resources Conservation and Protection Act. This prohibits poaching and promotes biodiversity in ecotourism. So operators must conduct ethical, respectful tours, especially in ancestral lands and protected areas. Any activities must adhere to environmental laws and cultural sensitivities. Ignorance of these laws can result in environmental degradation, loss of cultural integrity, or lawsuits. So that's all for this laws. We also have the Intellectual Property Code or the RA 8293. So this law protects creators of original content, which could be logos, slogans, photographs, tour packages, and other creative outputs relevant to tourism. Registration ensures exclusive rights and prevents infringement. So tourism businesses should register their intellectual properties to prevent unauthorized use. At the same time, they must respect other people's works, whether images, itineraries, or marketing content. This fosters ethical branding and innovation while avoiding legal disputes. For our sixth law, which is the Anti-Child Abuse Law of RA 7610 and RA 9231. So these laws protects children from abuse and exploitation, with special focus on vulnerable children in tourist areas. Forms of abuse include child labor, trafficking, and sexual exploitation. Establishments such as hotels and tour companies are required to report any suspicious activity involving minors. Failing to do so may result in their involvement being treated as complicity. Staff must be educated in recognizing and addressing this risk. We also have the Anti-Prostitution Law, in which, under the revised penal code, prostitution is illegal. Both the provider and the promoter of such services are liable under the law. Tourism establishments must create a clean and respectable environment. If a hotel, bar, or travel company tolerates or promotes prostitution, it can be shut down or stripped of its operating license. Business owners are encouraged to train their staff to report incidents and cooperate with law enforcement. We do have the Anti-Pornography Law under RA 9775. This law outlaws the creation, distribution, and possession of pornographic content, especially involving minors. It extends to both online and physical spaces. So for tourism implication, resorts and accommodations offering Wi-Fi access must ensure their platforms are not being used to distribute or consume pornographic content. Systems to block inappropriate websites and employee vigilance are crucial to compliance. So for our ninth law, which is the Anti-Hijacking Law, RA 6235. So this law penalizes the illegal seizure or sabotage of aircraft and their facilities. So airports, airlines, and related businesses must enhance passenger screening, baggage inspections, and staff training. Adhering to aviation security standards boosts confidence in Philippine air travel safety, directly affecting tourism arrivals. So for our 10th law, which is the Dangerous Drugs Law, under RA 9165. So this Republic Act penalizes drug trafficking possession and use. It has severe consequences for individual and establishments connected to drug-related activities. So hotels, hostels, and entertainment venues must adopt a zero-tolerance policy. Staff must be vigilant, report suspicious behavior, and cooperate in investigations to protect their business and the integrity of the tourism industry. So for our next law, which is the Anti-Smoking Law, in which laws and ordinances now prohibited smoking in enclosed public spaces including hotels, terminals, and transport vehicles. So tourism-related establishments must post visible signs, create designated smoking areas, and ensure staff enforcement. Violations may result in fines or closure, and compliance improves the experience for health-conscious travelers. For our next law, which is the anti-smuggling law, in which this law combats the illegal import and export of goods, including endangered animals, plants, and cultural artifacts. So for tourism implication, customs officers at airports and seaports work closely with tourism authorities to inform travelers about prohibited items. Tour guides should educate tourists, especially in ecotourism and heritage areas, to avoid souvenir purchases that violates this law. So for our 13th law, which is the Violence Against Women and Children, RA 9262. So this law penalizes abuse, physical, emotional, psychological, which against women and children, including within public or private spaces such as hotels or resorts. So hotels must have protocols for assisting abused guests. Front desk and security personnel should be trained to discreetly support victims, provide safe spaces, and contact authorities when needed. Tourism sites must serve as a safe space for all. Our 14th law, which is the Human Trafficking Laws, RA 9208. This law bans the trafficking of persons, especially for forced labor or sexual exploitation. It aligns with international conventions that aim to protect vulnerable population. So tour operators and hotel staff must be alert to red flags such as unusual group bookings or minors traveling with non-guardians. Reporting mechanisms must be in place, and staff must undergo regular training on spotting trafficking behaviors. We also have the International Law on Tourism. Global bodies like the UNWTO and UNESCO influence tourism law. These institutions promote sustainable, inclusive, and culturally respectful tourism. So the Philippines must align its tourism policies with these frameworks by preserving World Heritage Sites, promoting ethical tourism, and fostering cross-border collaboration. It reinforces the country's global reputation as a responsible destination. So for health tourism involves travelers seeking medical treatments or wellness services such as surgery, dental care, or spa rentals. Hospitals, wellness centers, and spas catering to tourists must secure DOD accreditation and meet international service standards. Reliable medical services combined with quality hospitality can make Philippines a competitive health tourism destination. So for our last topic, which is the tourism research, in which informed decisions stem from evidence-based research. Topics such as tourist satisfaction, environmental impact, and industry trends guide strategic planning. Government agencies, the private sector, and academic institutions must collaborate to gather and analyze tourism data. Research supports sustainable development, policy making, and innovation, ensuring the industry's long-term success. Okay, so to sum it up, Chapter 17 is a rich collection of laws that impact the tourism industry in various dimensions, socially, environmentally, economically, and globally. Understanding these laws allows us to build a more inclusive, secure, and sustainable tourism industry. So, that's all for Chapter 17, and thank you for watching, and may we all become the better stewards of Philippine tourism through law and action. But before I end this video, I will leave a quote to ponder upon. So this quote is from Theodore Roosevelt, saying, "Each time we face our fear, we gain strength, courage, and confidence in the doing." So as another college year comes to a close, this quote reminds us of how far we've come, not just academically, but personally. The challenges we faced throughout the year weren't easy, but they helped us grow stronger and more resilient. Each obstacle became an opportunity to learn, adapt, and push beyond our limits. So looking back, we can be thankful not only for the achievements but also for the struggles that shape us, since they played a big part in making us of who we are today. So again, this is Maria Ellen P. Onyot, and I hope that for the 17 chapters of our discussion, you have learned something. And again, thank you for everything and goodbye.